Has anyone told Liverpool they can't do this? Has anyone told them FFP, PSR, the blue and red lights will be outside Anfield before we know it? Surely. No? Liverpool inquire about Isak and basically put the ball in Newcastle's court and tell them if it ain't Isak you're open to, we'll go and get the one you're trying to get in, Ekatike from Frankfurt. Liverpool are actually bossing up, and by that I mean in the transfer window. And to further delve into that, what I mean is Liverpool have always been a great club, regardless of the trophy, the Premier league title drought for 30 odd years. Liverpool have always been a juggernaut. The name, the club, the brand, the fan base, the stadium, everything about them, but the way they've been moving in the transfer windows. To be honest, since the Premier League became a thing, I can't talk much before that because I wasn't about much before that. Um, but they're moving like they should be moving. The name they are, the that name holds weight. Regardless of what they've won in recent years, that name holds weight. You couple that up with the recent success, and you're in a powerful position. And in football, when you're in a powerful position, you've got to make use of that power to maintain power, to keep as strong a hold on the power you have as much as possible moving forward. You've got to be on the ball consistently. Now, Liverpool in the latter years of Jurgen Klopp, it seemed like their owners, American owners at that, were, similar to the Kroenke Glazer side of things than they are the Sheikh Mansour Roman Abramovich side of things. But in recent years, they've shown that they've got a bit more about them, to say the least. If decision making wasn't, the case in terms of the difference between these American owners that Liverpool have and the ones we have here, then you can see the ambition in this window in particular. This is the first time I'm seeing Liverpool move in this way in a transfer window. Now, I don't think they get Isak. I think Newcastle hold firm, but I think if Liverpool then want Ekatike, I think they're in a much stronger position to get Ekatike, not just because they're Liverpool, far greater, and the Premier League champions as we talk. They've also got a massive opportunity in that number 9 position. Whereas Newcastle, if they hold on to Isak, Ekatike's game time could be affected. Now, I know Newcastle can find ways to make it work. Isak is more than just an out and out striker. But Liverpool are in a strong position here. And I'm looking at more the power moves they're trying to make, the way they've moved in this window. Now, everyone will cast their minds back to last summer and the moves they didn't make, the lack of activity, how hard they've been rejected a couple of times. They only bring in Chiesa for what, about 10 mil, and that's their business done in terms of income. And I can't remember the outgoings, but that's their business done. The business worth talking about. And to be honest, after Chiesa's season last season, that ain't even worth talking about. So they did no real business. Arnie Slot's first season. Oh, let's see how this one goes. Well, they delivered a title. They kept hold of two of the three players that were coming to the end of their contracts, the most experienced ones at that. And they've added already a Florian Wirtz into there and two fullbacks, spending well north of 100 mil real early in the window before sitting back and maybe looking at the market and seeing how things play out and, like chess, making their moves accordingly. And that's what they've done here. They've seen Newcastle ramp it up with Ekatike and Frankfurt, and they've said, you know what, this is now the time to try and, engage over there. And whether they have, you know, got a light at the end of this tunnel and there is something there with Isak this summer or not, what they've done is throw their name into the hat. Isak now with 3 years left goes into two next summer, and with two remaining, the club is in its strongest position it can be. Because if you go any less than two, then the player starts having a bit more power. So Liverpool's name is in that hat, potentially even for next summer. And this is all I wanted Arsenal to do. Arsenal are also a great name, great history, great heritage, not like Liverpool's, but great in its own right, especially from when I started supporting them in the early 90s. But these owners took what it was, Arsenal Football Club, and made it what it is. And there's a lot of young fans out there, in particular, younger fans. Let me not say all, because there's a lot of young fans that know what it is, whether through research, family, you know, just conversation, whatever it is. But this is all some fans know. Arsenal are also great enough, in a powerful position enough to try and flex a little. Not to that level. I get it. I'm not even talking financially here. I'm talking name, where we are to where they are. Status in world football, where they are to where we are. That's something we can't compete with. But we are in a powerful position to make the biggest moves, best in class moves we could possibly make. I'm not making this about us now, but this is an Arsenal, channel in particular. And I'm talking about other teams here and there as well. People, hopefully you're enjoying. Hit the like button if you are. Make sure you're subscribed if you are, and share it if you are. Leave a comment too. Why not? Let the algorithm do what it needs to do. But reason I'm actually here is because it all ties in. It all ties in when I look around and at the window and I see Liverpool and City move early. It frustrates me more when it should be us moving early from the position we were in. Not saying City shouldn't. Liverpool, on the other hand, you could argue title wrapped up pretty early, so they knew exactly what they needed to do, and they was in that position too. But here we are, 15th of July, and the bulk of the transfers are done. Surely the bulk, when you consider it's going to be about 6 names after the next couple are welcomed over the next 48 hours or so. How much more are we really going to do? Is how much more do we need to do? That is the bigger question. And I still think we're 2 big moves away. So if that Rodrigo fella does become available, I want to see Arsenal go for him. We missed the boat on Kvara, and listen, in my opinion, he's the better winger. But Rodrigo deserves a chance, deserves a step up. Whether he wants it or not, we'll find out. But the reality is, you've got to put your name into these sorts of hats when you're at this level. Man City have been doing it. Chelsea have been doing it. We call them oil clubs. Liverpool are not that. Liverpool have built what they've built, ground up, over the years, over different eras. But they are now a juggernaut in the window that we also have to deal with if we want to get over the line in terms of a Premier League title, let alone everything else. We already know we're dealing with a couple juggernauts financially already, whether it's juggernauts through oil, whether it's juggernauts through knowing each and every loophole in the book and being able to spend over 1 billion, but in return, you've seen them lift a couple trophies in the last month and a half or so. One in particular, winning them over £100 million. Is it? When you couple that up with their fourth place finish in the league, did they make more money? They must have. They must have. With that competition, they must have made more money than us. That's where it comes full circle back to ownership. If you win, you make more money. That's what you like. If you win, the market value of Arsenal Football Club, for Arsenal Football Company, your business goes up in value. So when you are ready to finally let go of it, move it on, or use it as collateral or an asset or whatever you want to do, the value is at a far greater level where it should be, considering when you actually came in to this football club. It isn't just 7 years ago because they became full owners. It's 20 years. They picked it up knowing it full well what they were getting into, fully in agreement with Hillwood. They was on the board from early. From early, they was on the board, helping, molding, make these decisions along the way. And a lot of them decisions, if you didn't live through it, look back at it. At times like this, when it's time to really, go that extra yard and bring in who you need to bring in rather than bring in the guy that might be the guy that's close to the guy you need to bring in, we always go for that guy, the latter, the guy that might be the guy. And that's never been good enough. So if it was really be excited, if it really was all about full ownership, Arteta's got us three second place finishes in a row. Let's make sure this window ends the way it needs to end. Because as you can see, Liverpool are still doing some business. Man City will still do some business. And to be honest with you, Gyökeres just feels like it's pulled us back into the mix rather than, made any difference yet. The difference makers we still need. This video started on Liverpool, it's ending on Arsenal. But that's the way it goes, people. Hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed. Ain't got no Proton to sell you today, but if you need a VPN, then last vid, probably next vid. Love for the love. I'm out. Peace.